Hello everybody, welcome to SNKronize. My name is James and I am joined once again by OlafRedland. How's everybody going out there? They want to see sexy saxophone as well, not just hear it.
We can just Photoshop me like a little saxophone.
Does anybody we know have a saxophone? I can borrow a saxophone from somebody. And
I mean, I'll just have to bring up my automaton.
there you go. That'll work.
So today's been one of those days.
Yeah. Okay. So look, I actually last night I was like, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna get all the watch party stuff ready together. Looked up how to do it. Added the button. Clicked the button. Says search for the movie. I typed Fatal Fury.
And then Price's Right horn goes off.
Yeah,
Just
nothing
boom,
came
boom,
up.
boom, boom.
And I was like, interesting. I wonder if that's just messed up. And then I went to the Amazon webpage, refreshed it, and it says this video is currently unavailable to watch in your region.
Yeah. So that's what happens when we actually make a plan for something, you know?
I think Amazon was watching over us.
Yeah,
and
the Bezos overlords were like, oh, hell no.
Yeah. We're not going to let you take advantage of our feature that we've put in here to watch. So we were planning to do the Fatal Fury watch along here today, as we were telling everybody. Unfortunately,
Amazon had other plans.
And for sure we know the movie is available through other means. The whole movie is on YouTube, etc., etc. But the whole point was that it being on Amazon Prime meant that we had the ability to do so within the system, within the Twitch guidelines, within the rules and all that stuff, to make sure we didn't get DMCA'd or whatever. So yeah, unfortunately, we're going to cancel the watch along unless it comes back at some point.
Unless it comes back, or, you know, maybe we can try to do some other side event of some kind, or, you know, maybe we can hit up Discotech and be like, hey guys, you want to help us out here? Like, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so.
And then on top of that, Kitty's internet went out today. So she's been without internet since like 10 a.m., at least other than, you know, phone reception.
Right, of course, yeah.
So she can't even join us tonight. So, I mean, it's one of those, like, she would have been super pissed, you know, if she couldn't join us for Fatal Fury.
Right.
So, I mean, at least, like, both things happening bad at the same time is kind of okay. Like, silver lining.
God, you know, I was just thinking about this, but you know how you're old when you think about the times when the internet went out and you were just shit out of luck. But nowadays, at least,
I mean, then you got like the middle generation where your parents on their phone, so you're just fucked.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, it's just nice because now you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do everything over here, no problem.
Yeah, my internet's out. Well, I'm gonna go jump on Twitter on my phone because you know this is better than any computer we grew up with until what, like 05.
Jeez. I mean, this was probably my current phone is probably better than any computer I've had until 010.
010.
No, not even 010, 020. Whenever I got this thing here. Oh, man.
That's not how dates work.
Yeah, I know it's not how dates work, but I'm calling it 020 anyway.
So anyways, so we have a lot to talk about in a short amount of time, actually, because it's like kind of a lot and kind of a little. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously without the watch party, but there's still a lot of good news to talk about. And the beta's coming up this week.
So the beta, we have a lot to gush about. But let's go ahead and do the Ikari Warriors story first. And then we will talk about the beta and all that stuff. And what's up, Raz?
What's going on? All right, let's see. Oh, dang, it came up already. I see they put one by default on the page. And it is the Team Ikari Warriors story over here. So let's go ahead and toss us up there. Let's toss this over here.
Okay, let's take some side bets here. Leona will smile once in this story, and everyone's going to be confused. Any takers?
Is this something that's happened before?
It happens once or twice. Like, she has literally smiled like 3 times canonically. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, so it's up already. Obviously, the time changed. Now everything is at the same time, etc., etc. But yeah, look at these poses, dude. They are definitely flexing. So, you want me to just read this whole thing then, as usual?
I could take somebody.
Okay, if you want to read the characters again.
Sure, why not?
All right.
Unless it's going to be another one of those, I have no idea who's talking
Yeah,
right
I
now.
know, right? All right, let's do this. As if aiming for the clouds above the horizon, a line of military vessels sails forth. They act as the base of Hydern's mercenary force, navigating the globe with no harbor to call home. Our protagonists stand in a briefing room located on an aircraft carrier nested in the center of a fleet.
Our target is Verse, that damned monster that appeared in the previous tournament. Our operation is its complete and total annihilation.
In the darkened room, Hydern has taken a position before a data-filled screen, facing those present. Ralph, Clark, and Leona are lined up in front of their commander, their eyes trained on him, trying to concentrate on the mission details despite the presence of two unknown faces distracting them.
Based on our data from gravitational waves observed in various locations, and the intel from our collaborator Dolores here, we believe the creature will appear again during this edition of the King of Fighters.
While mentioning the collaborator, Hydern glances at the priestess beside him, Dolores, who responds with an elegant gesture. Despite this elegance, she observes the three subordinates keenly, almost seeming to appraise them.
The monster will likely do far more devastating damage this time. Accordingly, we must neutralize the threat at an early stage. That is our mission.
As the commander wraps up, the lights come on, lifting the tenseness of the room. Clark remains standing at attention, but his expression relaxes.
Understood. Of course, this is an important operation, but I didn't think you'd be on the front lines, Commander. Right, and as a member of a team, too.
After Ralph chimes in, his eyes wander to the corner of the room. There, a girl fidgets out of boredom, her back against the wall. Sensing Ralph's eyes on her, she raises her head and stares back menacingly, her whole body tense.
Whoops, didn't mean to offend the little leader.
In response to the girl reacting like an alley cat meeting a rival on the roadside, Ralph forces a smile before turning back to his commander. Having observed this exchange, Hydern allows a short pause before moving on.
Amplified specters, beings like Isla and Shunei, are vital to this mission. As we observed Shunei during the last tournament, Isla may go berserk when Verse appears.
At their commander's words, Ralph and Clark tense up. Even Leona, who has remained stoic since entering the room, suddenly smiles. No, I'm just kidding. Flutters her eyelids.
Ralph, Clark, Leona, your priorities are to observe the tournament and monitor Shunei. The moment his powers go berserk, intercept and subdue him.
The room falls deathly silent. Leona recalls Orochi appearing from inside Verse. Reports stated that Kyo Kusanagi, Iori Yagami, and Chizuru Kagura exorcised the being, but Leona realizes that the story does not end there. The cursed blood residing within her aches. She has resisted it and fought it countless times, even succumbed to it on occasion. Whenever she wavers, the commander and the others save her, but now she is determined to be strong and never lose to it again. Still, something does not feel right. Something different this time, which casts a small shadow over her heart. If her hunch is correct and she loses control, she would be a liability to the mission. Feeling she should say something, Leona's about to speak when...
I'm picking up what you're putting down here. We're the best guys for the job.
An infallible smile spread broadly across his face. Ralph breaks the silence. He pats Leona lightly on the shoulder, nods enthusiastically.
No sweat, Commander. We can subdue rampaging dudes in our sleep. He's right. Nothing out of the ordinary for us. Business as usual.
To the opposite side of Leona, Clark nods calmly in agreement, flashing a familiar grin. Leona glances at her allies before returning her gaze to Hydern. Her mouth moves ever so slightly. Only her trusted comrades and commander could ever notice such a smile.
Understood, Commander.
Hydern gives a small nod to her direct yet honest response.
For the final of the tournament, the fleet will be on standby approximately 40 miles north of the stadium. Stay on guard until the mission is complete. Dismissed! Yes, sir!
Hydern watches his subordinates bow respectfully. then leave the briefing room with a determination in their step. And then Leona went and got a box of apple juice.
She gets a Happy Meal, complete with apple juice instead of soda. I'm not gonna lie, though. I'm actually mildly irked about one thing.
What's that?
I understand that they can use nautical miles, but still hearing him saying miles kind of irks me.
Right. You would have rather had them say, what was it?
Knots or even kilometers or clicks.
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
But just flat 40 miles just feels a little weird. But nautical miles are weird, so whatever.
Yeah. So this kind of confirms that even though in the 14 ending, where they took out Orochi, it's not
over yet.
done, basically, right? Orochi still having...
Well, I mean, just having CYS around automatically shines a light on that problem.
Interesting. But it's interesting that they're actually releasing these stories in a way that they're kind of
In some sort of chronological order or some level of chronology.
Yes, yeah.
I got you.
So, I mean, obviously they've already picked up Isla, and so the idea is that there are these super beings called amplified specters. Is that what they were called in the previous one?
I don't think they had a name in 14, at least not in game.
They never really explained it, right? That it was
Shune just has a fucking stand, whatever.
Yeah, Verse had hands, Shune had hands, that was it.
Motherfucker's gonna throw hands, what?
But what's actually interesting about this, though, is that it sounds like Verse might just be the bad guy again.
Or some sort of tweaked Verse, or somebody's trying to revive Verse because Orochi reasons, probably, who fucking knows.
Right. I mean, maybe there's a whole bunch of them and they'll be called the Chorus instead. God, I couldn't even look at you. I couldn't even look at you for very long.
That's what she said. Wait a minute.
Oh my God. But, I mean, because the thing about it is, has any of the KOFs ever had the same boss back to back?
Rugal. 94, 95.
Right, but 94 is kind of not canon-y.
It's wiggle.
Right, yeah,
It is and isn't and is.
Right, so if that game doesn't count, it's been a different boss every single game, or...
With the exception of some bosses become like a mid-boss in the next game.
Okay. But it's never been like the actual like boss at the end,
just Rugal.
Okay, interesting. So, like I said, if Verse comes back as the boss again, this will be the first time that it's really been kind of the back-to-back boss, right?
Yeah, so Rugal was 94, 95, and then the final boss of 2000, Zero, was a mid-boss in the following game. Yes, I know one of them's a clone, one of them's the real one, whatever, close enough. And then Adelheid was one of the final bosses of 03, then became a mid-boss in 11.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the NES Saga, I got to imagine by that point, once they started getting the better hardware and they started doing all that transitioning.
Not yet.
Well, that was at 11.
Yeah,
right?
NES Saga was the bankruptcy.
Right. Okay. And I wonder if it was actually hard for them to keep up and make one a year.
It's starting to get to some of that point, especially because they were doing a lot of experimental engine stuff.
Right. And that's why in 11 they just said we're changing to the numbers because we can't do this every year, basically, right?
Yeah. 03 was the last annual one, and 03 was the last MVS one, the Neo Geo one.
Yeah. Guys, what about the Nest's situations? Also adding to this Maxima in 14 is investigating on it.
We will find out soon.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to. Once we get the rest of K-Team, and more importantly, when we get to K-Team's story, we'll see where everything falls into place.
Yeah. So, at this point in time, if our suspicions that Whip is on K-Dash's team are right, and our suspicions that SNK likes money, so Kula is going to be in the game, that'll probably be K-Dash's team.
Unless Maxima is in that team.
Unless Maxima's on that team and somehow Kula's on another team. Or somehow Kula's not in the game and SNK doesn't like money.
There's a lot of potentials.
Right.
But yeah, the next few weeks are going to be super important because we're going to finish out Ash's team and start finishing K-Team.
Right, and we're still assuming Ash's team is going to get finished out with Elizabeth and Kukri, right?
Yeah.
Kukri's already there, so... Oh dang, Kula, Foxy, and Diana. I mean,
I don't think that would be huge money. That is laser focusing on a group of SNK fans.
Right.
That is not huge money.
Yeah, because not a lot of people even know who Foxy or Diana even are, right?
Yeah.
Unless they're just, are they super hot waifu status characters that?
They are attractive, but they're not even like ludicrously hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not bait.
They're not Dolores. They're not Dolores, because Dolores, oh Lord.
Dude,
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
She's in the running to dethrone Shermie. People are losing their minds.
Oh, dude, she's...
And good for her.
Yeah.
You know, good for her.
Dude, when they showed those idol poses for her, and then she just decides to go and strike a pose, someone tweeted like, "What's she doing?" And I just responded with, "Looking fabulous." Oh, man. But yeah, so, I mean, theoretically, I mean, again, our predictions, sorry, I keep kicking your knee here. Our predictions are still Ash, Kukri, Elizabeth.
Yep.
My predictions right now are probably going to be K-Dash, Kula, and Whip. And then surprise third team that will reveal a lot of craziness. You know?
I mean, we've discussed the possibility of something like Angel Nameless something, because the third team is supposed to have, at the minimum, but probably exclusively, one surprise and two returning.
Right. Because Oda, the reason why we keep fixating on the surprises, because Oda said 2 surprises, which we assume means 2 characters who haven't been in 14. And we're assuming Elizabeth is one of them because she was in that ending. Yeah. And Ash coming back is a big deal, so you kind of need to have Elizabeth there.
Yeah. Which reminds me, we should actually take a tally of... like the number of actual like full-blown characters that weren't in 14, because we still got CYS and Chizuru and Ash, like, and that's already a good amount, plus the 2 newbies. But is that it, or is there like at least one more that wasn't in 14?
Let's take a look over here. If we go to the characters list, this shows everybody so far that's been revealed, right?
No. This is only complete teams.
Oh, no.
What you want to do is go to the special tab. Just replace characters with special in the URL. And I think that should do it.
Special.
And this is where you get, like, Twitter avatars and stuff, and this has literally every character.
Oh! Dude, you even know their website, like, perfectly.
Because I found this easier than trying to figure out where the link was to this page.
Right.
I stumbled upon it once, and I was like, bleh.
So, and they actually do list them in team order? No, they don't. They actually list
They're
them
in reveal order.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see.
So yes,
repeat,
yes,
repeat,
yes,
repeat,
yes,
repeat,
yes,
repeat,
yes. New.
No. So one new character.
Yes, yes, yes. No. Yes, yes. New, new. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. New. Yes, new. Yes, yes, yes. New. Yeah, there you go.
So seven new characters. Not in 14.
Yeah.
2 of that are completely brand new.
2 brand news, 5 that just weren't in 14, and then we should still have 2 remaining.
Right.
Which is still like 9 out of the 39 or whatever are new to this generation.
Right.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
It's a good number, and I mean, it's interesting because 14, you know, we had talked about this before, how 14 had a gobsmack of new characters.
Like, oppressive amount of new characters.
Right. And interestingly enough, it's crazy, but fighting games always suffer when they do that. Like, there has not been a fighting game that has not suffered for trying that path.
Of too many damn new characters.
Yeah, so, for example, Street Fighter 3. For those of you who were not around at the time, Street Fighter 3 was a huge failure.
Oh, and it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 3 Vanilla, the new challengers or whatever it was called, New Generation.
New Generation.
Wasn't even going to have Ryu and Ken.
Yeah, it wasn't even supposed to have.
And in the Loke test, people threw such a shit fit, they put Ryu and Ken in last minute.
Yeah, they were the ones that were put last. Garu wasn't super successful, right? I mean...
It did well enough, but it's also, like, that's kind of by Neo Geo standards.
Right, okay, that's fair.
It did great for a Neo Geo game in 2000. But but it's not.
Because, like, I will still say, even, you know, having gone to Golfland and being at UCLA, all that stuff, I don't think I've ever seen Garo in the arcade.
Oh, I definitely have.
Yeah,
I've definitely played it in the
I know it's in the arcade, but
Dude,
I'm just saying...
I played it at my local tilt.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I've never actually seen
Yeah.
it anywhere, which means it's still kind of rare, you know what I mean?
Also, with that in mind, like, it's still one of the more valuable Neo Geo cartridges.
Yeah, of course.
Both, like, the AES one, the home version, is in, like, the top 5 just most valuable home version cartridges.
Jesus.
It's fucking dumb.
Okay.
It's like I've seen it for, like, upwards of $3,000.
Right.
Just the cartridge.
Yeah. Dang. Surprised I don't own it somehow, you know. But also when Soul Calibur 5 replaced a lot of the characters with the kid versions and stuff. I mean,
People were pissed.
yeah, because like I always ask people on my shit, because 6 is the first one that I played, right? And I always ask people like, oh, how did you guys like the old ones? What's the story on all these things? And everyone's always like, yeah, I didn't play. I think it was 5 that did it, or 4, whichever one did it. They were like, yeah, I didn't play that one because it took away my favorite character. And
Yeah,
dude, like
5.
when Street Fighter 4 came out, like everyone went apeshit over the game because it had the original 12 characters in that game at launch roster. You know, like it was, people were...
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. Well, okay, the original 8, I should say.
There you go. The original
The
8. Yeah. And then, yeah, actually, no, the original 12, but not the original 16.
Right, yeah. The
Yeah.
original 12 were there, yeah. And I just remember, because I still remember the launch party for Street Fighter 4. I don't know if you went to the launch party. So I went there, and it freaked me out because Street Fighter was dead at that point. Fighting games were dead. But then when the Street Fighter 4 trailer came out, everybody kind of lost their collective shit. And by the time it was out in the arcades and, like, people... When that launch party was here in LA, like the line was down the block. And some people,
here I am going to the KOF 12 launch event.
I was there too. But I was there helping.
Oh, you were like behind the scenes or something?
Yeah, so Wizard was in charge of running it. And so he was like...
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually talked to him there.
Yeah.
And I don't remember seeing you there. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he actually asked me. He was like, hey, you want to come and just help out or whatever like that. So I was actually at the 12 one.
I would love to see the brackets for that because I know I did surprisingly well. But I think it was like on like the cusp of top 16 or something.
I don't even think I commentated or anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
so but I mean I would have saw that, but I don't think I knew you that well at that time.
You didn't know me at all.
Yeah.
You didn't know me at all.
Yeah, that's true. We hadn't gotten to Marvel 3 yet, huh?
Yeah. Or even Super Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
That's actually when we met, was Super 4.
Okay.
You beat my ass.
Did I? Back when I used to be good at fighting games, yeah.
Yep. I was learning 4 finally again because I was like, okay, I'm done playing Geef. I'm done with this bullshit. And then you're like, hi, I still play Cammy. I'm like, fuck.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
No.
But
With the brackets, you don't apologize.
but
you whoop asses.
Yeah, you learn. Time to learn today.
Thank
son.
you. That's
There
what you
go.
do.
But yeah, no. And I just remember lots of people were like, "Yo, I've been waiting in line for this launch party since this morning." You know, or I was here overnight just to make sure I can get into this. And when I talked to a bunch of people, all of them were like, oh, I'm so happy I get to play Blanc again. Oh, I'm so happy I get to play Guile again. Oh, I'm so happy I get to play. And, like, that's always, like, whenever you try to go too many new characters. Now, obviously, KOF 14 still had a lot of the characters, but maybe they kind of overdid it on the new.
Well, and the problem is, though, is that I'm not going to say the problem, but, you know, when you have 3 years to refine an arc, there are a lot of good characters, like, sometimes in that arc. I fucking love Duel On. Someone in chat just asked about Duel On.
Right.
You know who I don't know if I'm ever going to see again? Duel On.
Which game was he in?
He came out in 03, continued in 11, continued in 12 and 13.
So he was in 13. Yeah, that's right. And that was where he got changed to Dulcim, more Dulcim-esque, right?
12 is what made him more
Right.
Dulcim-esque. 13 is just, hey, how about we make this actually like a complete archetype?
Right.
Yeah,
So,
and people love Shen Wu. because Shen's fucking awesome.
Is he brand new as well?
He was new to 03 and stayed in all of those games.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so here's the 14
I'd be
roster.
down for Lin. I just love the Hizoku clan.
Alice was new.
New.
Right?
New.
Antonov is new.
New.
Banderas is new.
Yep.
Well, I completely forgot Billy was even in the game. Let's see.
New.
Hein.
New. I miss Hein. Hein was far and away one of my favorite new characters in the game.
King of Dinosaurs.
He's different enough. I'm going to give him the new.
Right, because this was the first time he showed up in this form, right?
Yeah.
Kukri is new, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's 7.
Love. Luong. Meitenkun. Bian. Mui Mui.
She is new?
Yeah.
Okay. Najid
in the DLC.
Nakaru.
Nako. Nelson.
Oswald is old.
So we're at 15 already.
Yeah.
Shune. Sylvie. Tongue canonically.
Oh, because he's never been in a KOF game, right?
He was only in the home version of 11. He's never canonically been in a KOF.
Okay, so...
So Tongue's technically new.
Okay, Tongue is technically new.
Verse. Xanadu. Zarina.
21!
Post DLC. Jesus Christ.
21 out of, what was it? 58 characters?
I think it's 58, yeah.
That's almost...
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah, you're right. Rock is new to it,
Yeah,
too.
because Max Impact doesn't count.
22 out of 58 characters were brand new. And, yeah, I mean, is that overkill?
Yes.
Yeah, probably, you know.
Well, because here's the thing. Look at how many of them from that game
made it
come back
here, yeah.
What are we at? 5? Was it 5 characters that were in 14
that came back? Yeah,
that are back.
Yeah. Well, that weren't.
Or no. How many characters are from 14 in this game?
Yeah,
it's like 5 or less.
Yeah, let me see.
Shune, Meten, Luong, Kukri.
We
Antonov.
counted King of Dinosaurs, Antonov.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
So 6.
6.
That should be 6 then.
Yeah, so 6 out of 22 characters have made it back that were introduced in 14. So, yeah.
And, like, the odds are not great that it's going to be any more or more than one more.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm assuming Elizabeth and Angel... I'm not Angel.
Angel Kula are not new to that game.
Right.
We're banking on Elizabeth, which gives us literally like 3 slots remaining. 2 slots remaining. The odds
if
of
we
both...
count Kula, Angel, and...
Yeah.
And again, Angel is just because SNK likes money, right? So we're just kind of assuming Angel is showing up. Right?
So we've got literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots remaining right now. We're assuming Elizabeth, Angel, Kula, leaving 2 slots. And I really don't think both of those are going to be 14 newbies.
Right, yeah. So, you're right. There is still that one extra team.
Oh, yeah, whatever's in the top row that we don't know for sure what anything is.
Right. Oh, man.
And again, there's also the fact that 2 of those newcomers we're never seeing again. At least, maybe 3.
Of which game?
From 14's newcomers? That list of 22?
Wait, you said 3 we're never seeing again?
Najid, Loveheart, and probably Mui Mui, we're never seeing again.
You really don't think so, huh?
Because the Patchy Slot characters, they don't own anymore, apparently. And Najid, they didn't outright own themselves to begin with, as far as I know. It's a Manga Productions character.
Interesting. I see. So that contest was with ties of... So unless they can talk to them and get that going.
Unless something changes, we may never see Najid again. Period.
Okay.
But yeah, Loveheart and Mui Mui went out with the Patchy Slots.
That's right. I forgot Mui Mui was part of the
Dragon Gal.
Yeah. She's supposed to be Chinese, right? She's supposed to be Chinese? Okay. Yeah, then, God, it's so weird because...
On the other hand, I did order it. I got my booklets that I was talking about. So I just got them, so they should ship. So if I'm real lucky, they'll arrive next week. So if we want to do a Food Fest special, I can show off the booklets for some of the Skylove Patchy Slot games.
Oh, yeah? Okay. No, just because the only reason why I'm wondering is if Mui Mui is... pinging, then it would be Mui Mui. But I'm just...
Look it up sometime.
Yeah, I know.
Look it up.
I'm going to look it up, actually, at some point. I mean, now I'm just curious here. I wonder if I could look it up on Wikipedia, because they're usually pretty good about having pronunciations in there. So if I did Mui Mui, KOF...
Or Dragon Gal.
Dragon Gal?
Yeah.
Let's see. Nope. I guess they don't have an article for her here.
List of King of Fighters characters, whatever.
So here's a list of King of Fighters characters.
Dude, Shang Fei is way better than Mui Mui.
So they don't have anything over there. Anyways.
We'll look it up later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Shang Fei is awesome.
Shang Fei is the one that's from Fatal Fury, right? Yeah.
Real bout too.
The one with the
and eats all the things.
Yeah, eats all the things. And who was it? Chang that was surprised? No.
Chen Xin-san.
Oh yeah. The one that was freaking out about.
Yeah, he was all like gigantic.
Yeah, and he's like dead, and she's still eating. Yeah.
So, I think it's time
to
talk about the beta news.
The beta. Okay.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Not even just the beta news, but just it's stuff about the. Oh, someone actually wrote it down there. Oh dang, Hirokun, you got that. I always forget.
Like a boss.
Hirokun, are you Chinese? Hirokun? I'm not even sure.
Or just multicultural something.
Yeah. Let's see here. Japanese. Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, Hirokun is clearly it's a Japanese word.
Yeah.
But, so let's do this. Let's go from Chinese.
So we will get to that on everything else.
Yeah.
Mimi.
Interesting. So Mui Mui might actually be the phonetic translation of the Japanese
maybe
the Japanese kanji. Anyway.
Okay, so first things first. KOF 15 beta, which we all know and love, has CYS, Sacred Treasures, Dolores, and the new kid. Starts 7 p.m. Pacific Friday night.
Okay.
Runs until 7 a.m. Pacific Monday morning.
It's nonstop. It's not even like
as far as we know.
Periods, right? Okay.
But even so, it does have a bunch of offline modes anyway. So even if it goes down, we should still be allowed to play it.
Right. Exactly. So, yes, you can download the beta now to prepare.
Yes, the links are up. You should definitely go hop on Twitter, hop on whatever. Just make sure get it preloaded, make it happen, because you've got 24 hours to do so.
Mm-hmm. I haven't done that yet. I need
48. We're 48 hours away from it.
I need to do that myself.
Me too.
Yeah.
The big. They officially confirmed that their rollback netcode is GGPO. And I told a buddy of mine about this because he hadn't been following it as closely. I was like, so they confirmed what the rollback is. Like, oh, what is it? I was like, it's GGPO. And he's like, at least someone is.
Right?
Thank fuck.
Yeah.
Verbatim. Thank fuck.
Right. Because, I mean, honestly, like, it's out there for everyone to use. But what that actually tells me, though, is that actually, I feel like, kind of confirms our original suspicions that the game was probably delay-based netcode for the longest of time.
Maybe.
And then internally, they're like, everybody, and then Guilty Gear Strive beta came out, and everyone started losing their shit. And when they threw out that tweet, where we're like, we've been looking into it, I feel like that's probably... they had just started the process of looking into it.
I don't think it's like that bad, because you also have to bear in mind is that some of the developers at SNK speak English, so they actually keep an eye on a lot of the shit we've been saying. So I mean, I feel like Josh Weatherford probably had a huge hand in this because he is one of the developers and is an English speaker, and he definitely has kind of poked on Twitter saying that he had something to do with us getting rollback.
Yeah.
And so, like, it being GGPO is fine and great, because at the very least, it's established.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I am fully aware that you can't shoehorn in rollback, but you remember that tweet came out like a year ago, like almost a year ago at this point, right? It was quite a while ago they came out with that.
It was like March, I think.
Was it?
It might have been a little earlier.
Okay.
Because it was before they confirmed it, which was like June.
Right, yeah.
But,
they took forever to confirm it, so...
But yeah, and I mean, because you got to bear in mind also, though, that we're looking into it tweet was only in English.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that always kind of unsettled me a little, but it's also like, we're the ones who care.
So is Melty Blood actually licensing the GGPO? Is that actually true?
I don't read.
Like, was there a GGPO logo on the launch or anything like that?
Here's the thing, though, is at least GGPO is already established, which means even if you implement it wrong, you can fix it.
Right.
While proprietary stuff can go badly and nobody can fix it. Because, you know, basically, I mean... You look at some games that have rollback, and look how much of a nightmare it is to make adjustments, and how much people don't know about what they did because it's proprietary. When you could use this established system that people have written fucking books on at this point, and you could just, you know, make a lot of easier adjustments.
I mean, at this point in time, even something like Street Fighter V, I mean, most of the people who have worked with GGPO, like Skullgirls, like Killer Instinct, all of them were like, we know the problem. Mm-hmm. Like, we know what you guys coded wrong in your proprietary rollback netcode. We could fix it.
Street Fighter V's always had rollback. It's just not very good at it.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, Marvel Infinite's netcode is really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's rollback, and they did it right.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the game was ugly and got memed to death, and that was basically it. So, that's right. Street Fighter V sounded like it was literally one person coding.
Yeah, but then one person in their basement fixed it, and then it got patched out.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that occurred.
Ugh.
But yeah, so the point is that by using GGPO, like, everyone knows exactly what's going to be...
Right.
If problems arise, it's going to be a lot easier to fix because there's way more documentation.
Right.
At the very least.
And we're hoping that it's that they are willing to fix it, unlike well, okay. I mean, I couldn't dump on Street Fighter V and say unlike Street Fighter V, but also unlike how they handled Samurai Showdown, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't even fix lobbies, you know what I mean? So like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not defending that behavior at all.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
Sam Show went from unplayable to unplayable. And I mean, say the line, Bart. I'd still be playing it if it weren't for the netcode.
Yeah.
But the fact is that I've talked about multiple games having this problem of, you really want to invest that budget on goodwill, or do you want to put it into the next game?
Yeah, I mean,
that's where a lot of problems come out.
Right, and that's the interesting thing, because like I have talked to lots of people about that, including people who used to be at Capcom, and I was just like, you guys need to invest in goodwill. I was like, this is like it's hard to convince anybody to invest in goodwill. But I was like, if a patch comes out and Birdie's chain no longer clipped through his necklace, like that's like if you came out with a patch and fixed Ken's face, you know, just like randomly little things like that. I was like, that's kind of goodwill investment, and I think those are important. And even the guy at Capcom was just like, it's so hard to convince people.
Yeah,
to do stuff like that. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, no, and I mean, in all fairness, you get some of these games, like, there's no amount of goodwill that's going to make me play the game anymore because I don't like it. But they don't care because I already bought it.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm,
you know, I am not the demographic they need to win over. Right. So fuck winning me over. Fuck do they care?
You already spent... Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of these games nowadays do have multiple seasons, and, you know...
Yeah.
But you're still buying multiple seasons anyway, right?
Just because on the off chance I have a friend come over and you're like, I play a new character. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to pick Poison again.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Oh, I mean, I was happy about Akira because, you know what? I will give Capcom credit because anytime that they admit Rival Schools exists as a franchise, I'll give them money for that.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go buy another copy of Tatsunoko versus Capcom because Batsu's in it. I don't even like Batsu.
Look, again, you know, we can talk about how cool it is that Capcom put Akira in there, but Capcom had been doing some great stuff with Street Fighter V. you know, again, there was like, I don't know, it was like a weird period of time where it almost seems like something changed at Capcom. And
I can't imagine what it is.
Yeah, I know.
Which reminds me, do you see that tweet from the Video Game Awards?
Oh my god. Yes, I did. And it was gone by the time I looked at it, dude. It was gone by the time I looked at it, dude. Oh god.
I actually got you to get up and walk away from the stream with that.
I did. I saw that. Oh man. So the Game Awards actually wrote out a tweet, you know, with their fighting game of the year category.
They haven't even replaced it. They haven't even replaced it. That's the shittiest thing.
Yeah, and they wrote a tweet out that said, congratulations to Yoshinori Ono for, you know, having your game, Melty Blood Type Lumina, nominated for the Game Awards. And that was
one of the sickest ratios I have seen on Twitter in God only knows how long.
I saw so many people quote retweeting that, and just like the tweet was still there so that I could see the number of quote retweets on it, and it was like in the hundreds. And that tweet was deleted already by that point in time.
Because everyone's like, really? You're not going to talk about the people who made the fucking game?
Yeah. You're going to talk about the guy who showed up when the game was 95% done.
and works at the publisher.
Yeah, exactly.
So. You know what? Fine. Thank me for BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend. Because I was working at the publisher.
Right, yep. And, so... that was kind of they deleted that tweet real fast.
Yeah, and again, like they've not even corrected it. There hasn't been a new tweet saying congratulations to French Bread to the actual like lead.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, I imagine right now. Good job for BlazBlue. Good job, nicely done.
I'm gonna ratio myself.
But yeah, so I mean, again, Street Fighter 5 has been on a roll for quite some time.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to make me love that game, but it definitely has a lot of improvement. Yes, Kamone, thank you. There really has been a lot of improvement because certain people not there and certain people who are in charge now who deeply care.
Yeah.
And
Nakayama and Matsumoto. Matsumoto is just like
Matsumoto's the homie.
He's the biggest sweetheart in the world, dude. I swear to God. I still remember when Carolyn was still working there. Mama Da was still working at Capcom. I walked up to her and I was like, please tell me Matsumoto is as adorable as he appears. And she's like, he's the best. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like you get happy employees who care about what they're doing. You're going to get better products.
Yeah.
Like it's just how it is.
Yeah. And honestly.
Like when you see, like because Blizzard and Activision haven't made a good game in over a decade.
Oh God! Oh man, that is a fuster clock right now, dude. Let me tell you.
So yeah, something about happy employees and people who care. Weird, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, I actually do have a lot of hope for Street Fighter 6 as a result.
Yeah.
And honestly, like it feels like with the way Street Fighter 5 has been, they've had the ability to just kind of have fun. So and it's cool. I'm happy about that. So, but
by the way, I definitely used to work for Activision, so I have plenty of horror stories of my own.
Yeah, because I mean, the latest news was that the super high up lady who was put into that position to try to fix a lot of the sexism and the bro culture there quit because she couldn't fix the bro culture.
I'm a big fan of the hundreds of people lining up out the office just demanding that Kotick resigns.
Yeah.
And then, of course, hard drive doesn't miss.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it at that. Anyway, so GGPO.
GGPO. Happy News! Yeah. Okay.
Which, I mean, we've talked a bit about GGPO before, but you should talk about it more or again because you know a lot more about the inception of GGPO than a lot of people.
One of the things I will say is I still do believe that King of Fighters definitely switched gears partway through development from delay.
Yeah, it probably wasn't a day one decision.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you that, but I don't think it was a day negative 365 decision. I think it took a lot more than that.
Yeah, but for sure, they were probably developing it one way and then did have to switch gears partway through.
That's a distinct possibility.
I really believe that.
But, I mean, that's not something we'll ever really know for sure.
Right. But yeah, so GGPO, in case you guys aren't sure about its history, was literally came about. Dude, this thing is so old, and like nobody was using it for the longest of time.
It's actually older than some people in the FGC at this
point. 100%. So it was when like CVS2 came out on the Xbox. You remember when CVS2 came out? The EO era. And it was like, it was bad. Like, I still remember seeing Ken go, Shoryuken. I hit crouching medium kick there to punish him when he landed.
And he blocked.
I did hit him. Okay, to be fair, I did hit him.
No, Penny Arcade actually had the great comic of, hey, aren't you playing CVS2 on Xbox? He's like, yeah, I just threw a fireball. I figured I'd come to the kitchen, make a bowl of cereal, get back, see if it hit.
Yep. And so, one of the things was that smart people out there were like, there's got to be a better system than this. There's got to
like an infomercial. There's got to be a better way.
There's got to be a better way. And when I say smart people, I say that because they're smart enough to try to program their own way to do it. And this happened to be Tony Cannon. Tony Cannon, who is twin brothers with Tom Cannon. Tom Cannon obviously helped with GGPO a lot as well.
The Cannons.
They're super smart. These are the Cannons, Tom and Tony Cannon, who ran Shoryuken.com, who created Evolution Championship Series.
Also known as EVO.
These guys, again, you guys don't even realize how much that they have kept the fighting game community alive. Like, literally, these two guys.
What is the Futurama thing? If you do something well enough, no one will think you've done anything at all.
Yep. Dude, me and David, whenever we used to do commentary back in Street Fighter 4 days, like, he would go to NeoGAF and look at the threads, and he would go in like all the places where he could like look for feedback, and if nobody said anything about us, we would high five.
Yeah,
we were like, we did it. We did a good job. But and so now the Cannons are also the ones that did Rising Thunder, that got bought out by Riot, who are now working on Project L. Again, EVO kind of kept fighting games alive in America during the Dark Ages.
Yeah, because that was like basically the only major for several years.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people say it's overrated to call it the Dark Ages because other games were alive. Honestly, without Shoryuken.com and without EVO, I think fighting games in America would have just disappeared. I don't even think I think the people playing even the games would have been super niche.
Yeah, it would have been like people who didn't play Capcom games, where it's like, hey, I know this one other guy who plays Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
And then like me, I'm like, you want to play some KOF, guys? I'm like, no, play Guilty Gear with us, or play Smash. I picked up, so I think I might have mentioned this once before, but my first major competitive go out to tournaments fighting game was Smash Melee.
Right.
Because nobody fucking played fighting games where I lived, so I had to pick up the game they were playing.
One of my friends, who I've known for years, and years and years and years, who I knew him through Hyper Fighting. He was one of the best Mortal Kombat players in Southern California. I got him into my work at Symantec. We've been friends. He's the guy that I used to sit for hours playing Guilty Gear with. Just nothing but Guilty Gear for for 12 hours. Mm-hmm. Guilty Gear. He was a Zappa player that I hated, the Testament, the Dizzy.
That'll do it, yeah.
I hate him, basically.
You want to do the cool guy fill the screen with bullshit. Got it, yeah. I love that.
He was a Sagat player.
And he was like, wait, I could put motion on the screen?
Yeah, He is really good at Smash Ultimate now because in his office, nobody plays anything else. And, he uses Ryu in Smash as well. So.
Good.
But, I mean...
Keeping it 100.
That's the whole thing, right? So Tony was just like, I need to do this. And Final Burn, I think, is the emulator that he
FBA.
used. Yeah, Final Burn.
Actually, there was... because was it FBA? Was it like Kylera originally?
It was
Kylera and Nebula. I think Nebula was in that era. What were the ones that were all using that same basis?
I don't remember, but it was one of them. And I remember even way back then, like they hit up a bunch of people to test it out, and I remember testing out Alpha 3 on their betas of GGPO like 20
Kawox. That's the one. That was the one I was thinking. I think
like freaking 20 years ago. I remember testing this shit
almost
out.
literally at this point.
Yeah, like I remember testing that thing out and playing the Alpha 3, and I was like, this is good. I was like, this feels really, really good. And, I didn't understand it at the time. I didn't know what he was doing, like what technique. But, yeah, he came up with the idea of the rollback netcode and, by using the save states. And because his whole thing was fighting games, you have to have the accuracy in the moment, right? And so any delay ruins you. So rather than delaying you, let's just roll back to the true state of the game. So, again, rollback netcode lesson here, basically. So the reason why it's tricky is like if you play a game like Call of Duty or like League of Legends, right? You have so many players playing at once. Well, there's a master server that's sitting in the Riot server farms or the Blizzard server farms that has the master state of the game. And so it's basically everybody who's connected to it gets the information of the master state of the game. That thing is keeping track of what's supposed to be happening, right? And so that's in charge. And so what happens with a lot of fighting games is because everybody has all individual matches, you go to the server pairs you up with someone, and then they connect you two directly, and then you don't have a master server anymore. So now the state of the game is unknown between the two machines, and they have to keep syncing up. And so what delay-based netcode would do is like, oh God, we're out of sync. Well, I know I've reached...
Wait a minute!
I've reached this time. This guy, I still don't know where I am. So this guy, he's just going to stop.
Yep.
He's just going to wait.
And you know what the craziest fucking thing is to me? It's not, the deniers or anything like that. It's the people with Stockholm Syndrome who see a large rollback of like 3 frames and lose their fucking mind. Like they hate that.
Yeah.
But they're completely fine with waiting around for 5 seconds before they're allowed to play again.
Yeah, the anti-rollbackers is what I call them.
Yeah,
so,
but like the ones who have such Stockholm Syndrome that seeing a rollback makes them feel gross.
Right. I mean, look, I'll admit it. When rollback happens, it's jarring. And it's hard for me to play a game.
Because, when rollback goes bad, it hurts. Like, I love hit confirming and then it was blocked.
Right, yeah. But again, when it's programmed well, you don't see it very often.
Yeah.
Like, when I play Guilty Gear...
Also play on a wired connection, please.
Yeah, and yeah. When I play Strive, I don't see that a lot, right? And that's the other thing, too, is that no form of netcode is going to fix the guy on Wi-Fi while their parents are watching Netflix.
While torrenting.
Yeah, while torrenting. Like, that's never going to... Because the thing is, like I said... Fighting games.
Ooh, Neo Rage.
Neo Rage X. Oh my god.
Oh man, I just got emotional.
The two people playing fighting games are always connected directly, right? And that's the thing. So what rollback does instead is when you put your inputs in there, if it ever finds out the game went out of sync, it can actually go back to the last known synced state. There you go. You can actually go back to the last known sync state, take the inputs as the players entered them, find out what the game is supposed to be at in half a second, less than half a second, because processing power is ridiculous, right? So snap! And all of a sudden the game will just rewind and transform into what the state is supposed to be based off of your inputs. But that just means that you're never going to drop combos. You never have to adjust your timing to do the combos, etc., etc. And as many people have said, rollback is a form of delay-based netcode with just the dial switched further to a different side. There's a dial that you can actually change rollback, like in a lot of the Neo Geo games, that you just turn it into straight delay-based netcode. Right, you can just turn it into it because it's basically the same thing, and so that's basically how it works. And so rollback netcode is a system by which allows us to play, and if implemented correctly, it's great and it feels good. It feels very, very good. So Yeah, I shouldn't say rewind time because that makes it assume like it went back in time. It actually, think of it as the multiverse, right? The timeline divergence.
Oh yeah, you're crunching the alternate timelines back together.
You've branched on these timelines here, but this is the incorrect time. This is the right one, and you go boop, and you snap back over here, basically. So, snap back.
Yeah.
I can't see that scene in Winter Soldier without thinking that ever again.
I need to send that GIF back over to you.
Oh, man. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
no, the branching timelines path actually, I think, makes it make the most sense now.
Yeah, thank you, Marvel, for helping me come up with a good way to explain that, dude.
I still remember the first time I ever played X-Men vs. Street Fighter on GGPO, and I was like, oh my god, this person's like 3 countries over. And it feels better than some of the times I've played with my buddy next to me. What the fuck?
Which game did you play?
X-Men vs. Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah? Oh, dang. Okay. I mean, when the beta came out for Guilty Gear, I was playing people in freaking Korea and Japan. Because that was before it opened to the public. And so there was only a few people, a lot of magazine reviewers and stuff. And I was playing people in Korea and Japan because they were the only ones that were around. And it felt freaking great, dude. It felt great. So...
actually, before we get into that, well, did you see? I don't think we have anything else. So that's fine. Okay, so.
Well, I mean, just to finish up on the whole GGPO thing.
You weren't done? Jesus Christ.
But, yeah, I mean, so they then created that system. They used it. They had their own GGPO server to do the matchmaking and stuff like that. They built it into... at that time, I think it was now in, which emulator was it in at that point in time? I can't remember. But what happened is they stopped maintaining it because they just were busy. They didn't have time to do this stuff.
Grown-ass men.
Yeah, and a group of people in Spain who I've now met because they had the Fightcade offline tournament in Spain that they flew me out to. And I got stranded at a bus station, and they were the ones who came and picked me up. Like, they picked me up, and I was like, yeah, so blah, 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 Fightcade. And like, yeah, we're the ones who... And I was like, what the... Yeah. So they actually wrote to Tom and Tony Cannon and were like, hey, can we keep maintaining this? And Tom and Tony were like, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too dissimilar for what happened even with Mugen.
Yeah. And so they basically turned it into Fightcade and then Fightcade 2. They've kept developing. They run their own servers now. They have a Patreon that you can support. So they're the ones that are maintaining Fightcade and stuff like.
They have a Patreon that you can support, and you're just.
Fair. And so.
I'm just saying, if you use a service and you like it and you're going to keep using it, you should maybe help out.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually spent money in Final Fantasy Record Keeper one whole time just because
it got to the point that you felt guilty.
Dude, when I met the producer of the game in Kuwait, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll pay for this. I'll pay for this. So, but I mean, the GGPO was still owned by Tom and Tony, and it was something that people were licensing, and so the developers of Skullgirls licensed it, Punch Planet licensed it. And then eventually Tom and Tony were just like, for the betterment of everything, screw it, MIT license. And the MIT license basically means as long as you credit them, you can use it. It requires no fee, nothing. It's just, they put all the code up on GitHub. It's just out there now.
And look how many people still don't use it. So shout-outs to SNK and King of Fighters 15 for not looking a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, And what's cool about that, too, I mean, what's crazy about that, too, is now that, though, there's been more eyes on it. So, I mean, he who shall not be named, who worked on Skullgirls, actually improved GGPO a lot. And Zynak took a lot of those and put them into Strive and made it so that they could actually play better, even overseas and stuff. Yeah. There's been a lot of little improvements as it's gone. And so we're at a point right now where, like you said, practically books have been written about it, and it's just so well developed, even as a basis from GGPO at this point.
I mean, at this point, I could probably develop GGPO because of how much documentation is out there and the fact that I don't know shit about coding.
Right.
There have been enough people doing, talks and podcasts about it.
Yeah. Fight of Gods, all those games, they all have rollback.
I'm just saying, one of those games has a literal deity, so of course it's going to have rollback. I'm just saying.
The cool thing about that, though, is that, even, like, I think for developing Killer Instinct, I think they even, like, brought in Tony Cannon to come and help them on the game.
That sounds
and
right.
Stuff like that.
That sounds like something that you would do.
Yeah, and so that's basically what GGPO is. So now it has this situation where it's sitting there, free to use, MIT license, and SNK said, let's do it. And that's beautiful. I'm glad that they're doing it with a system that is established. Obviously, like I said, it's not perfect. People have found ways to make it even better, but that stuff is documented out there already. So,
hi.
Yes, this is OlafRedland.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, is that that's why we needed this weekend. Mm-hmm. We've been talking about it for a while, is that, like, even if their system is perfect, you need to verify that.
Right.
And so now we have, this beta coming up so that if anything goes wrong, they have all the time in the world to make the adjustments before launch, or at least for a day one patch, worst case scenario.
And then the other thing, too. El Gordo Supreme Double Helix doesn't exist anymore. They got bought out by Amazon.
The word is devoured.
Yeah, they were making that one game that was called Breakaway or something like that.
Something.
And then they just disappeared,
yep.
And that was it.
Yeah, they were devoured.
Yeah, so they're gone now. But not only that, though, because even with the GGPO code and all that stuff like that, that's just the peer-to-peer connection code that makes it work, right? The trickiest part of everything is, are your servers designed and capable enough to handle the influx of match requests? And can you handle it? And do you have that code
multi-people lobbies and this, that, and the other? And yeah.
I mean, when the Guilty Gear beta came out, the first beta, when I got to play other people, the netcode was beautiful. That wasn't the problem. The problem was
getting to that step.
I could never play anybody. Like, you just were stuck. Nobody could connect. Their lobby system, I still don't know how the hell they never even thought about 7 people standing on top of each other, all trying to challenge and not breaking it. Like, did you not, like, I don't know, like, who did not write the test script for that, I
mean, not even a script, sometimes there's also a manpower thing. Like, do you have 8 people in a multiplayer bay at one time?
Yeah.
That aren't testing other shit?
That's true.
Also, I haven't even seen that, but it's not surprising.
Which one?
SNK said they might do a second beta depending on feedback after this, which is the right fucking answer.
So what it was Say It Brave, is remember the original way that you challenged someone, there was no stations in the lobby.
Yeah, it was just find a guy and be like,
You saw a guy with their sword out and you walked up to them and said, challenge him, right? Well, people were so desperate to find matches that if one guy actually got into position that they could be challenged, 9 people would jump on top of them and they would all be hitting challenge. And in their internal tests, they probably were like, test challenging him. And one guy would go up and challenge, and that's it.
Yeah, never minding the fact that there's probably going to be a Justin Wong in this lobby where the entire rest of the lobby is going to swarm onto him.
Right. And so they even admitted it in a tweet afterwards that they're like, yeah, if multiple people are trying to request the same guy, the code gets mucked because too many people are trying to connect to one person.
Yeah.
Dude, when Maximilian was on that beta, dude, like, you could see where he was because he was like the guy, he was like Pikmin, dude. Like, he was like walking along and then there was just like 90 people.
Dude, did you see him when he first played Grand Blue? They actually made a 64-man queue to his station. And you actually saw a lobby of avatars standing in line like it was fucking Six Flags.
Yeah, dude. Try the new ride at Magic Mountain, Maximilian. Yeah,
Maximilian,
dude,
the experience.
I mean, so that's the thing. So even if KOF can get the netcode right, there's also a lot of that problems too, right? Like Melty Blood, when it came out, it had that problem. If you skip the intro, it could desync certain things and such. And so
so the thing is that you need the public to be fucking stupid. And we just go mash on things and go fucking ape shit. And something might break that you don't... The thing is that as someone who works in QA, I like to tell people that my core strategy for testing is you go through it once to make sure it works right. You go through it the next time doing everything as wrong as humanly possible.
Look.
And you still are not going to do what the random internet's going to do.
I started off as QA. Even when I was a programmer at Symantec, I was part of the QA automation. So I was always part of QA side of things. I was always more sympathetic towards the QA. We wrote tools, the testings, and everything. I think that's probably one of the reasons why the two of us love watching that one YouTube channel so goddamn much, right? What was the channel again?
Let's Game It Out.
Let's Game It Out. I was trying to tell my brother about this, and I was like, he plays the game in the absolute most wrong way possible, or is it the most right way possible?
Right. Yes.
And I think this is the reason why we love that. If you guys don't know, he takes those simulator games like, let's build a zoo.
I'm going to make Roller Coaster Tycoon, except I'm going to build a car that drives to space.
Right.
You're like, wait, how? Oh.
Like,
oh, God.
Like, I see. I just need people in the park. Well, what if I make them walk in circles forever? What if they walk on
What if I
bridge?
develop them a maze? Okay, now they're all in the park. What if I take away the entrance? What do they do?
Right.
Oh, this is perfect.
Dude, it's such a... Dude, that channel is genius, dude. I love that. And honestly, that kind of person is what you need in QA. 100% is what you need in QA. And of course is why I get mad when people find out that Birdie's jump light kick had no hurt box after he finished whiffing in the air. And people were like, does Capcom even test their games? And
and here's the thing, it's like, how long did it take you to find it?
Right, you didn't find it. One of a billion people found it. Yeah. And realize what happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I have to tell people, it's like, let's say, we have a test team of 15 people for our game, and we do nothing but perfect QA for a year. The moment that game goes live, a week later, there has been more testing hours in it.
And more bugs will have been found.
Yeah, because you think about, like, the conversion of man hours. And when you have, like, 1 million people playing an hour... what's the breakdown if you have only 15 people?
Yeah.
Like, you're not hitting 500,000 hours per staff member.
Plus, the other thing, too, is QA is an art. All right, look, I know both of us are QA. We're going to talk about it this way. It is an art form, right?
Yeah, but it's like Picasso.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of a fucking mess.
But the thing is, you need the talent, you need the mindset to be able to figure out what to test.
Yeah, it's like being a CIA psychopath investigator.
Yeah, and like, what point do you feel like I'm going to test whiffing a jump attack on the way up and see if I can still hit him on the way down? Like, this is just not something that you come up with. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And like, dude, oh yeah, actually.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
No, El Gordo Supreme is 100% right.
100% that's a thing that happens.
A lot of times QA person probably found it.
Yeah, I have way too many stories like that I think still legally I shouldn't talk about. They're just bad.
I mean, even for us, we weren't developing games. We were developing software. I can't even tell you how many things were postponed for the maintenance team to fix in later patches. It's just every time you had a bug, every bug you write down in a software company has to get evaluated. Do we fix this now or later? Is this a Cat 1 bug? Is this a Cat 2 bug? Is this a Cat 3 bug? You know what I mean? It's always like that. It is.
Yeah, especially when you find like a pretty bad bug a week before shipping. When you're just like,
oh no! By then you can't do anything.
You're just like, all right, let's see if we can squeeze this into the week 1 patch.
Right, and like,
let's see.
And I know I've told the story here before, but when my company actually hired the QA director, it was the first time we had a QA director. Like, he was not just in charge of one team; he was in charge of the QA. And so we had someone who had the clout to be able to fight back. And so at one point we were trying to ship a product and they were like, okay, our passing percentage is like 90. We can't ship it unless it gets to like 98, right? And he was like, what can we do to get it to 98%? He's like, how long do you want to delay the product for? I'm like, we can't delay the product. What features are you dropping? And they were like, we're not dropping any features. And he's like, then we can't. And the upper management were like, okay, but so how do we do that? How do we get it to 98%? And he was like, we can't. And he's like, but can you get them to work extra hours? He's like, no.
That's not how this works.
Right. He's like, we're not
the ones fixing the bugs. Yeah, we're the ones finding them.
Yeah, he's like, that's not what we're going to do. And they're like, okay, so how can we make it happen? He's like, what features are you going to drop?
And then you get into circular logic because no one wants to listen.
Right, no one wants to listen.
Yeah, oh, by the way, the good old will not fix, written as W and F in code, always made Wednesday night fights really awkward for me. Because the first time I was like, hey, you going to W and F? Like, what bug was it?
Right.
Oh, you mean Wednesday night fight? Right.
Yeah. Moral to the story, he wasn't working at the company for very long. They fired him after a while. So.
Yeah, because he was right. God forbid.
Yeah, and they didn't replace him. And then it went back to normal, in which all the QA basically worked weekends and, long hours.
I mean, another one is, given some company I like making fun of that I used to work for, I definitely had one where we had a showstopper. It was not happening.
Right.
That everyone actually understood, like, okay, so, well, guess what, guys? We're still working this weekend. 12 hours a day, a whole weekend. We're like, right, great. We come in, bug has not been worked on yet. Burn room isn't even in yet. So we sit around on the same broken build doing nothing the whole weekend until they decide to come in and fix it.
And you know what?
And I know, and anyone who's been at that company knows that is not an uncommon tale.
Right. And the worst thing about it is, like, it sucks because, yes, I think we're a little jaded and desensitized by this experience.
A little?
Yeah. So when we see this shit happen with developers, that's why we're so sympathetic. We are a little more empathetic to a lot of what happens out there for that. So did you get paid for that?
I mean, currency exchanged hands, yes. Was it a justifiable amount? No.
Yeah. Dude, in my last company, there was one guy who was a contractor. And he worked mad extra hours, and built up all this overtime that they didn't pay him for the longest of time. Then they converted him to full-time, and they erased it.
And they wiped it.
Yep. They wiped the whole overtime. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, you converted him to full-time, that's cool, but they did it because then they didn't have to pay him all that overtime.
Sounds about right. Yeah. No, I there was definitely a period. This was in the late aughts, mid to late aughts. And I earned my way all the way up to $10 an hour after several years of raises.
Being a freaking QA, dude. Oh, God. Thankless job.
So anyways, public testing is a good idea because then you get a lot more information rapid fire, especially if you also vet some of what you're listening to.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be the one to say, make Makoto top tier, but I might say this move is unusable.
Right. And also too is that you are going to get the fringe cases. You are going to get the guy who is working on the plug internet, who is going through this particular ISP, who lives in this part of the country, who has this weird firewall implemented, who has like all these rules that you're never going to see. And then when he has a mistake and he sends you the diagnostics, you gather the diagnostics.
So, I mean, that's kind of one of the things that is a mild concern, but I also fully fucking understand, is that a Steam beta would be nice because PC compatibility tests are a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, oh my god, those files would be data mined and hacked so fast.
Yeah, we'd be playing the beta for the rest until it came
out. Look what happened to Street Fighter 5.
Yep.
I definitely was playing Mika for like 6 months solo, just seeing like what properties were. The good old infinite beta.
Yeah.
And they can't take that. But it's also a shame because PC compatibility tests fucking suck.
Yeah.
And so when the game launches, like the Steam version might be in a little worse shape than the PS4 version, and it might take a little more work.
I mean, I was telling the story about, like, remember last week, I think it was, I was saying how the only time I had ever played Soul Calibur was with my coworker at one of the other offices because they had a compatibility lab. Because they just threw every old PC that they had into that room. And so they just had every PC of every, and you're still covering 1% of the possible configurations out there.
Not even one,
yeah,
probably.
I know, right?
Like you're shooting for 10% of the top 5 most common builds.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's literally what we did. We went to that machine and we were just plopping everything in and installing it into all manners of machines and freaking
fucking min spec the shit out of it. What
was the cow company again? Ah, shoot, there was the cow PC company. Gateway, wasn't it?
Well, Gateway had other stuff, but I thought that wasn't just the only cow one. It was Gateway, I guess.
It was
yeah.
Gateway. Okay, yeah, dude. We were testing on all manners of computers back then.
I've definitely seen a game blow up a monitor, literally because of a compatibility issue.
Jesus Christ.
It was one specific video card, one specific monitor, and then all you did was like you would open up a menu, which would cause a screen refresh. Monitor explodes, which then was fun because of course it's QA. You have to verify it.
Yeah. Have you verified this? I blew up the monitor.
And they're like, we have to reproduce it.
Right. Oh, God.
So then they intentionally got to blow up a monitor to verify it. And yeah, so that one got fixed pretty quick.
Yeah, dude. It's like, people have to understand, like, software development is hard. And, you know, I mean, it's crazy too, because I also, at one point in time, was, you know, doing a lot of code coverage. I don't know if you know what code coverage is, basically.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Sultan? Code coverage is basically they take your build and they inject a bunch of code into it that tracks if that piece of the code got run. And so after you do all your tests, everybody sends in their information to a centralized server, and then you look how much of your code percentage has been run, right? And what a lot of people don't even realize, and sorry, this is not even about SNK anymore, we're just going off.
We're going in now.
But like, the craziest part about it is...
We promise it's topical because we're talking about the value of a beta.
Exactly.
That's our segue, I promise.
Look, I'm telling you right now, if you run your product, and let's say you run through it and it does everything that it's supposed to do. Let's say you don't run into any bugs, right? You have probably, on most software, exercised maybe 25% of your code to 30% of the code. The amount of code that you have to write to make sure your program doesn't explode is ginormous.
There are several games out there that are well established that they are held together mostly with duct tape and prayer.
Dude, again...
Metroid 1, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 6.
That article, which still blows my mind that was what Don wrote that article. But yeah, like literally, in order to get the proper code coverage, you had to try to find every way. And there was a lot of code that you literally just couldn't execute because the program was written properly enough that there was no way to inject the incorrect information to trigger this part of the code path. Like
that's a load-bearing candy cane. Seriously, that episode and that line right there is actually a really good metaphor for code. It was the one where they're doing a Hansel and Gretel. And then, Homer comes in and starts eating the candy cane in the middle of the house, but it was actually a support beam.
And then the house falls apart.
That's a load-bearing candy cane.
Okay.
But,
I mean...
if I recall correctly, FF7 literally shipped only because they finally got a build that worked, and they said, fuck it, I'm done, I'm not touching it again. Because if they sneeze on it, the code was going to fall apart again.
Dude... You've read that Final Fantasy article, the 6th one, right?
Not in its entirety. We're gonna have to find it again.
Dude,
then make her send it over.
It's just called Breaking Final Fantasy 6 or something. But they figured out a way, like all 16 character slots exist at the start of the game.
Probably.
But they're all filled by the Moogles that you run into at the beginning of the game, and they only don't get replaced until you get to that screen where you actually name the character. Like, that's where they transition. And so they found ways to just completely destroy the game. Oh, my God.
I mean, I still love FF7's materia. There you go. Materia storage bug, an item storage bug, which is you basically load up a character that you're about to lose for story reasons with inventory, and it changes everything.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. We just got that.
Like when you're forced to lose teeth out of your party or something.
There was a speedrun game that got discovered. The speedrun worked if they put the cartridge at a certain temperature.
Oh, yeah, there is one or two of those.
Yeah.
Where changing the temperature of the game changes how well the run works. And I think it's an NES game.
Yeah, it was
Or
an
Famicom.
NES game. Like, someone couldn't figure out why he could.
I think it was Dragon Warrior.
Yeah,
or Dragon Quest.
Yeah, they could activate this glitch, and it only happened once they were playing for a long time, and the cartridge got warmer.
Yeah,
or something.
I think it was basically once the game got to a certain temperature, RNG stopped functioning normally, and it basically forced a particular seed. That's what it was, if I recall correctly. And it's a Dragon Quest where it basically forces the actual seed. Yep.
Yeah,
that's hot plate.
on the hot plate.
That's the one.
Yep. And that was the way to speed run the game was to put it on a freaking hot plate, dude. Yeah. Oh god, it's software, man. Like, I'm always surprised that anything works most of the time. It's funny because before I started working in QA, you would use a program and sometimes like shit wouldn't work, but then you'd find the way to make it work and you'd be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, spaghetti code.
Once you get into QA, you're just like, that's a bug, that's a bug, that's a bug, that's a bug, that's a bug. Seth reveal. I don't think you're getting Seth in this game.
Now that being said, we do have a lot of other cool characters we can look at right now.
Oh yeah, okay, let's do that.
Let's do that.
So, let's stop talking about QA.
Although
it's a fun conversation, I hope you guys are
having a good time.
I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. It's a good conversation and good topic to discuss because it really is.
I mean, we could probably sit down and shoot the shit on this one more time at least. But anyway, with the beta impending in 2 days. SNK put out a nice fat PDF with a bunch of cool like general system stuff. It's basically like the flyers that they had at TGS, except since our characters are different, we have a little bit of an updated page here.
Right. I'm just trying to make it as big as possible. That's good enough.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I wanted to look at something. I had another.
So regarding the King of Fighters 15 open beta test, the aim of this test is to improve the online quality for King of Fighters 15. Yay! Woo! I need to have a soundboard so I can play the Simpsons yay sound effect here. So testing period. And so again, it just looks like it's gonna run straight through. Now, keep in mind, as we've mentioned, they're gonna find bugs. We're gonna find bugs.
Will find bugs.
And I guarantee.
Really hoping I can do some super broken shit with Dolores like hour one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just even talking about from the server side of things.
Oh yeah.
The server's gonna go down.
Yeah.
If the server doesn't okay, let's put it this way. If this testing period lasts this entire time and doesn't go down.
If it goes exactly this amount of time, no more, no less, no gaps in between.
This is the greatest code ever written in the world. Like
the best online rollback code ever.
Yeah.
Now, to be completely honest, the most likely scenario is this game will not work from 7 to 10 p.m.
Right.
Because we are going to crash the server on day one.
Yes. Exactly. And yes, it will be crossplay between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
We definitely will be we'll be streaming for most of this period, at least most of what we're awake for.
Yeah.
We will do our best to have lobbies up when we're not just beating the shit out of each other.
I will be unable to stream it for about 6 hours, depending on how
Sunday
long.
morning our time,
On
right?
Sunday morning, like at 8 a.m., so you probably wouldn't even be awake
anyway. Yeah.
But
I'm probably going to be going to bed at 4 a.m. Saturday night playing KOF.
I am officially part of the Guilty Gear European scene now, thanks to the ICFC. And so the guys running Arc Revo Europe asked me to do commentary.
Nice.
So, so I'm going to be doing commentary with...
So you'll be on that point, but that's fine. Again, I probably will be unconscious.
Yeah, which means by the time you wake up and we resume, you might be fighting in the lobby while I'm here passed out for a little bit. So
also, don't forget, like, it's not just KOF players who are going to be playing this. There's passive KOF players. There's rollback defenders who are going to be like, you know what, it's rollback, I'm going to try it.
Anyone who's a fighting game player. Like, I mean...
We're going to fucking try it.
Like,
you think the FGC is going to turn down free game time?
Yeah, and I mean, even people like David who have no interest in KOF, but, you know, has seen the footage of 15's like, this actually looks really fun. I want to try it. He'll be playing it, you know, I mean, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely are going to be fishing for some of the other well-known players that we're acquainted with, who, if you follow them on Twitter, you see them like, yo, I'm excited for this weekend.
Right, exactly.
How often do you see L.I. Joe talk about KOF? But he's like, yo, I'm going to be playing.
Shout outs to Drunken Banana. Shout outs to you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, someone went to talk about it.
Chenkyo.
So me and Kitty were at the Red Bull Kumite this weekend.
Yes.
So we got to hang out with some of those guys, and definitely involved a lot of us like, oh my god, KOF this weekend. Just losing our shit.
Right. All of Mexico, yeah, basically. But yeah, casual matches, room matches, offline versus training tutorial. That's great.
Dude, tutorial.
Yeah, and that's great that they let you do training mode. Again.
Yeah, training mode is awesome, but tutorial I think is actually really good. That might be really good for a lot of people coming in.
A lot of people have been wary about giving training mode right away because they don't want people to find broken shit before the game comes out. Like, I don't mean like bug broken shit, but like,
oh, hey, here's a 3-bar 100% damage combo.
Yeah, stuff like that. But that's where you're going to find most of your bugs, honestly.
Well, and honestly, if someone finds a 3-bar, 100% damage combo, you still got till February to nerf it.
Exactly.
It's actually good.
It's actually good, yeah. Casual match basically means not... actually, that's a good question.
It's basically not ranked.
It's probably a private lobby. Room match is probably matched up random.
Room match is private lobby. Casual match is random encounter. It's just there's not going to be any ranked mode.
And so here's the playable characters. We knew that these 8 were going to be here.
So please understand that the game may not function properly during this test. Like, shit might happen.
Thank you for putting... Because, dude, the amount of entitled people in all the other betas drive me nuts. Dude.
The amount of entitled people in gaming...
Yeah, that's true.
End statement.
And by the way, Carlito, yeah, I mean, the Street Fighter V player Kusanagi has been playing games forever. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it's the same Kusanagi who's like a god at Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Like, I think it's the same guy. I think so.
Could be. And yeah, I know Joe loves KOF, but Joe doesn't talk about it super often. And he's fucking all in right now.
Yeah, this game
an online connection
outside of the testing period. Online connection is necessary.
Save data does not fucking matter.
Testing details are subject to change at any time. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the interesting one here. So instead of displaying the ping directly, they're going to display these numbers, these levels here that give you this. Now, I've heard a lot of people actually really upset about this.
They're not a fan.
They want the actual ping listed.
Yeah, but I think for the purposes of like lowest common denominator, just giving them this value can give them a ballpark. And I think that's fine. It's like, if I'm seeing level 5, shit's godlike. If I see level 1, shit's not so godlike. That's kind of all a lot of people need.
What I mean, honestly...
I mean, we're the hardcores.
Right. And again, this is one of my QA philosophies. If you have the choice between putting up a level or actually putting the ping number in there, put both of them in there and let the person choose.
Yeah.
Honestly, there just needs to be a menu option that just says display level or display ping.
That would be nice.
Because the thing is, if you know what's going on...
Hey, SNK, that might be a really cool idea.
If you're listening to this now. I mean, because honestly, if you are one of the hardcore and you want to see the ping, you would go and change it because you know what that means. Yeah. If you don't know what that means, you'll look at it and be like, what the hell? And you are not going to touch it. Yeah. You're going to leave it alone. So... yeah, we probably
just
actually...
level divide by 0, where you just fucked.
Yeah, it reminds me of an old... do you remember the comic strip BC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was...
Yeah, the guy who always, is always reinventing the wheel kind of thing.
No, there was one comic. Apparently, the guy who wrote the comic just loves golf, basically, like that. And he was, describing golf. He's like, 1 over par is a birdie, 2 over par is a bogey. And the guy asks, what's 10 over par? And he's like, a reason to quit.
There you go.
And that's what made me think of when we're like, we need a level for 200 plus. No. If it's at that point in time, you just put the controller down.
Now, I mean, that being said, too, it's also kind of weird that 1 is just 90 milliseconds or worse.
Right.
And then level 5 is perfect. You think there should be a consistent grade of how bad it is, maybe? Because I would want to know if I'm fighting someone at 400 milliseconds.
Right. Exactly.
Where they're really going to blow it. But in all fairness, this game is designed for Japan, who never even has 90 milliseconds of ping, because everything works perfectly over there, apparently.
This test features rollback netcode usually as the middleware known as GGPO and actually the URL. So clearly,
and also, fun side note, the Japanese version of the PDF actually takes you to the Japanese GGPO website, which actually has a slightly different URL. Which
is really cool, because this is the original GGPO site here. It was just, I forgot who it was, but I think it was someone that we knew that actually did the translation of that site just so Japanese devs could actually...
I'm sure we know whoever the person was.
It was just so that the Japanese they had no excuse to not use it, So during online play, the amount of rollback frames will fluctuate slightly. The number of frames currently affected by rollback can be found in the upper part of the screen. So one of the things is like, again, going back to describing rollback, if the rollback frames jump to like 3 frames or stuff, 3 frames is still, don't forget, like, what is it, 1/20th of a...
Nearly undetectable.
1/20th of a second, right.
Like, it just feels a little weird, but you're not going to really be like, oh, that was 3.
Right. So when you see the characters actually do the boom, and then they're over here, that's like probably like 60 frames of rollback or something like that. That is
like 20 plus.
Yeah, it's a ridiculously high amount of rollback. So even when you see rollback frames get to like 3, it's still very playable.
So playing O2UM, you can also set like the max range frames and everything. So playing my buddy in Germany, I set it to like 13, and it basically was an imperceivable difference, except that the game fucking worked.
Yep. Yeah. To use free GGPO, I guess that's a good way of putting it, because everybody else who's been using it previous to that has been licensing it directly.
Yeah, what, both of them?
Them's Fighting Herds, Punch Planet, Skullgirls.
Did Fighting Herds actually pay for it? I thought they got the free one.
They got it paid for maybe by the Skullgirls people. I can't remember, because what part of the goal was that Them's Fighting Herds would get the Skullgirls fighting game engine if they got enough. It was like kind of crazy stuff like that. But a bunch of people definitely, so Melty Blood uses it.
Does, yeah.
But even then, I don't even know if any of those companies who did license it from Tony, I don't even know if Tony even charged them that much, to be honest with you. But there you go.
That's just his $5 to like help him know who's taking it.
They even have currently known issues. Sometimes the game desyncs when rollback happens during a throw. So there is a bug state right now. So again, the desync is when it can't figure out
which game state's supposed to be good on.
Ones. So basically, there is a situation. So again, it's like there's no master server, right? You have to...
Ooh! I'm sorry, I just saw something on screen that really is big.
But like, you have to make sure both of the states are synced, right? And then to do that, they go back to a state that's the last time that it was known, and then replay the inputs and then snap it in there. Sometimes the last state that was known isn't matched.
Yeah. So this is fucking funny, though. So Melty had a problem with skipping round start intros, so they just said, nope, you're not allowed to.
That's funny. Dude, so, for example, one of the toughest ones in the HDR beta, because Vega's claw fell off at a random value, Vega's claw falling off desynced most of the time.
Oh my god.
So in one game, the claw would fall off. In the other game, it wouldn't, because they didn't keep track of that value properly. And so the state of the game would be different, because then in one game Vega would have the range to hit you from here, and the other one it wouldn't. And so Vega always desynced games in early HDR betas and stuff.
Okay, so and don't forget also Dolores has command grabs. Friendly reminder.
Okay. What do you think is going to be the one thing about KOF system that's going to mess up non-KOF players in beta?
Hyperhops.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Just getting used to hyperhopping.
Hyperhops and actually blowing up rolls.
Yeah.
Roll you can kind of get a handle on, but then a good KOF player is going to blow up your rolls, and then that same good KOF player is going to roll past you all the goddamn time, and you're going to feel like a dummy.
Yeah. The strategy of how to fight the neutral is going to be tough. Again, go watch Birdkick video. Who made that
Danny
one again?
J.
Dandy J. Go watch Dandy J's KOF tutorial. It's based on 98, but it applies, the basics apply.
Well, yeah, so it's based on 98 to teach you KOF 12.
Yeah.
Which is super funny.
Yeah, it applies to like almost all of them in any case.
Yeah.
Sometimes the reversal counter test will not display correctly during heavy rollback.
Yeah, so you just don't get your prompts sometimes.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Leaving thoughts, opinions, and reporting bugs. Use the hashtags KOF15 online beta test, OBT, or KOF15 OBT on Twitter. For comments for online play, please include your connection signal in the post. Once a staff member has confirmed the message, it will be used to better improve the final quality of the game. Please understand personal inquiries may not receive a response. Just don't vent at them.
This is a pretty incredible thing just to say that, you know what? Tweet at us.
Yeah. Well, because you know what the great thing about this too is that you can actually post post from PS4 because you have the upload video and shit too. So if some bad shit happens, you record it. And then you just tweet it to your Twitter, and you just throw that in and be like, well, this fucking happened. And they can just review the tapes. They can review the tapes.
Oh, man.
Which is actually like a double good reason to have this on PS4. Is because the social media app in the PS4 is pretty good.
Yeah. Honestly, it's so useful to be able just to tweet out clips from there, dude. It's nice. Another test may be conducted at a later time, depending on the results of this test. So it's great. So if they run into a lot of problems, they'll do an apology beta test. I mean, I don't want to call it an apology beta test, but a secondary one. That's kind of
confirmation.
Yeah, because like that Guilty Gear did that, right? Yeah. They had a beta test. They're like, shit, that didn't work at all. Let's do another beta test. You know what? That still didn't really work very well. Let's do one more.
Well, and I mean, also, like, the good thing about that one is that they got to hit all sorts of different levels of balance, too.
Yeah.
And to see what worked, what didn't.
God, you still remember when they changed Nago and everyone was like, you killed Nago Ryuki, he sucks now.
Well, I mean, besides that, though, like, remember the third beta? It was the worst air dashing Guilty Gear's ever had, and they kind of reverted that.
Yeah.
I think that was just them, like, pushing the envelope to see how bad things go, to then, because then you have, like, a control group.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine, too.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's worth having a beta with something be dog shit, because then you have your control group. You're like, never go this far. Got it. Easy.
Oh, dang. This is just in Spanish. Wonder why they would translate
and Portuguese.
Were they translated into Spanish and Portuguese? Do they have a big Portuguese and Spanish audience?
I don't know. Golly.
And French, too. Nice. Dang, they got French in here. So where's the Japanese PDF? I mean, there's got to be a Chinese version in there, too, right?
Yeah, basically like the one for Asia, one for the Americas, one for, well... Oh, yeah, no, this would be the Americas because this would apply to Canada.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the French is in there, too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
so this is for the Americas.
Yeah.
Spanish, Portuguese, English, French.
Put the dumb jank you want to try in the beta and let the community tell you not do that. Yep.
Yeah. So there's going to be, a different PDF for whatever. So the other thing they did when they posted this, though, is that they did post exactly the thing I was talking about. The command list for all the characters for this beta, which has a lot of other fascinating updates. Okay, so we've seen Shune's before, and whatever. We saw Kyo. We saw Iori. Chizuru!
Brand new here, so.
KOF's huge in France. Like, France for a while was one of the, like, larger KOF communities in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still true, but it definitely was.
Friano, I was told by the ICFC EU guys that, he was born in Morocco, right? And I think he's there now, but he spent a long time in France playing KOF over there with the KOF scene in France because they were really big into
So KOF. You remember, like, was it last week? I was like, I think he's French or something. And it was like, Morocco.
Yeah, so
I know things sometimes, I promise.
And I remember that conversation because that's why I even asked it on the ICFC because I was like, wait a second, so blah, blah, and they're like, yeah, he lived in France for a large period of time and is actually where he got a lot of his KOF play in. So there you go. French Guiana is part of France. That's right. Yeah. But here we go.
So Chizuru, she is now back, so we get to see what her move list is like.
She's got a down.
And so now we can compare that to some of her old move lists. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on here.
Just stop into weird. So I mean, she's got the DP.
Yeah. So those are her running swipe attacks with her shadow clone kind of shit.
These ones here?
Yeah.
I thought that was just Fireball, wasn't it? Isn't Fireball?
No, basically all of them are to one degree or another, and then they have different moves. So that's why she'd have stop, is because it's a running attack, and then that's when you hit.
Oh, okay.
Instead of it going full distance.
Okay, because DP is the one where she throws her clone upwards.
Or will DP herself.
Or will DP, depending on which button you use, right? So, and then Fireball is...
2-2 is the hopping overhead. That's right. Where she sends the clone out to try to do an overhead and hop.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
But Fireball is the one where she launches herself forward, or
there's multiple versions. Right? Yeah.
Oh, but so what's the spin kick one do? That's the command where she dashes into a follow up.
Yeah, that one should be like the weird like swipe, and then one's an uppercut.
Yeah, well, because it
And
looks
then
like you hit a button to stop, and then the other one will make.
Well, because
her...
also doesn't she have the reflect still, which that I thought was down to back, but now. Oh, you know what? I think they're doing, it's like hybrid to the 03 version, which I think one of the runs became the reflector, which will be like down to back punch, while down to back kick is one of the other runs or something.
Wait, did Chizuru actually not have the choice between clone or not clone in 98? I thought she always had that, didn't she?
There's been a lot of different ways they've mixed and matched.
Okay. No,
it's
I mean, Joe,
extremely complicated.
Joe P. Real says that, yeah, she did have the choice, so there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the thing is just what buttons you do it to determine it complicates things, because like the 03 version is different from the 98 version.
Right, yeah. But
in 03 she got a useless move, and it doesn't look like they let her have it back, so that's good.
Other than that, super desperation and throw. So she seems pretty much intact of how she always been.
Yeah, and they don't tell us any of the special properties or stuff, so it's fine. Because I still want to know if her climax, if it seals moves.
Oh,
I want to know if that happens still or not. Right. I want to know if she can seal moves.
Dolores. So
yeah, buddy.
So this is the first time we're learning anything. And they actually named all of her moves in, what language was this?
Arabic, apparently.
Arabic.
Which, fortunately, there are people out there who have actually talked about it and translated them, who know a lot more about foreign languages than I do.
Yep. And so
Freenel retweeted it after talking about it, I believe. Yeah, so Freenel noted that all her moves are in an Arabic language to some degree or another. I'm not going to say they're literally Arabic because I'm not positive.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we've got Awi 2115. I hope I'm not butchering that too badly. Who has given us this?
Oh, okay. So Burge is tower.
Yeah, so half circle back punch translates to tower in English.
So that's probably
apparently.
just a big rock that goes up into the sky.
Or it's her command grab. Because you'll notice none of these moves actually have the close range required like throws do. But she has a command grab from what we could tell.
Interesting. Okay. Kafas Kabo. I mean, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Cage
of the past.
Oh,
and then Kafas Kalfi is Cage from behind.
Okay. And then that's an interesting input for Nash. They did that to the red kick. They did that to the red kick. Yeah.
So it's basically an RDP.
Yeah, it is reverse DP. Okay.
And which one is that one?
Nash.
So that one's actually not on this list.
Interesting. Okay. Actually, yeah. And then Al Tariq.
Also not on this list.
Okay.
But and that I believe is her teleport, because it looks like she has because it's the 4-button positioning one.
It's the kukri kind of thing. Then Gadab,
which is anger.
Okay. That one is close.
Yeah, that's the throw super.
Okay. And then Hater.
Roar.
So if that's the throw super, I'm gonna guess that that's with punch. I'm gonna guess that this is the command
grab. Yeah, because it's also her only half circle.
Right.
And half circles usually get lent to grabs.
And this one is the similar input, right? It's the backwards circle version.
Theoretically. Yeah. I mean, we'll find out in 2 days.
Yep. And then Kalak Ayard.
Something along the lines of creation or creator of Earth.
Okay. And then her throws. I mean,
and then the throws have names too.
Yeah.
So one of them is hardness, and one of them is flexibility.
Nice.
Which I think is kind of neat.
That is neat. Okay. And then Yashiro.
Okay, half circle being dual on teleport doesn't really apply because it's also really complicated around that. Because that only applied to one game, and it was half circle back kick for the record. Yashiro.
So missile might bash. That's just his punch, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one where he dashes into a gut punch, like a kidney punch.
Okay. And then upper duel is just
an actual DP-ish.
Wait, does he have an upper?
It looks like a budget Shin Shoryuken.
Yeah. Then jet counter into jet counter still. Sledgehammer, which was the one where he just does the little straight punch, like the little knife.
Probably punch for the depending on which strength you do with the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, jet counter is dash punch. That's what I thought, but I was like, why is it called counter?
Yeah. Yeah, but it looks like he's not too different than what we were expecting him to be, right?
Which one is down to back kick though? I don't remember exactly what move that is. Oh, that's the donk.
Oh yeah,
which I think
which
they turn into it was like the long version of the command normal.
Right. Yeah.
That's right. That's just the bonk.
Yeah. Kind of like how Ryo had in CVS 2, right?
Yeah, it's a lot like that.
That bonk.
That's
move.
right.
So here's Shermie.
Okay, so here's where I want. Shermie is the one I'm most comfortable with her move list, so I'm really curious.
So this is a command throw, half circle forward plus punch.
Yeah.
Into a follow.
Into the follow up run OTG stomp.
Okay.
That she has for all of her command grabs.
Which is the throw? Which is this throw? Do you remember which one this one is?
This one's like the one where she twirls up you and spins.
Okay.
And like it does. I think it's like a budget Frankensteiner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one that looks kind of like a spinning Frankensteiner.
Okay. What about Shermie whip?
So that one should be the one that's not a throw, it's a capture state, where she does almost a back handspring and grabs you with her knees.
Oh, yeah,
it's actually
yeah,
blockable.
Okay.
So I think that's what that one is.
So Shermie clutch is the DP where
it's the DP anti-air throw.
It's the Mika, like kind of the wingless airplane.
That kind of move.
Right? Yeah. With the follow-up that she can... Shermie Q's the same follow-up.
And then...
Shermie shoot.
Yeah, that's actually really awkward that it looks like it has no follow-up, but... Maybe the EX version does that instead then or something. I don't know. Hey, Shermie shoot should be running bear grab, basically.
Oh, okay. Except much faster.
Yeah, but it's a KOF running throw.
Axel spin kick.
Is her weird Tatsu. It looks like Sakura's hurricane kick.
She had a Tatsu? I can't even remember.
Yeah, she just hops into the air and like kind of does a little like a plie. And then just fucking like outside roundhouse.
Gotcha. And then she's got 2 supers. One of them is obviously a command grab super.
And then the other one's the air throw super, I believe.
Where she jumps up in the air and grabs you out of the air. Okay. And then,
And then the climax.
Shermie's Tatsu's never really...
So here's the thing, is that in 02, Shermie's Tatsu has a really, really jank collision and push box. So you actually have a really hard time running under her or jumping over her if she does it. And like if you try to jump and she's doing it, you're gonna get stuck on her collision and you're gonna fall into her kick.
Oh, weird.
Full crap. And it actually has like a really reasonably good hurt box on top of all that. So that move is it's jank, but it's fucking annoying.
Chris.
Get it?
This is one character that I know so little about.
It's definitely a character you should try out. It's basically one of those, I don't think he's a U character, but I think he's a character that you're going to like that they exist.
Right.
That kind of thing.
So DP plus kick.
It's a DP with a kick. It looks like flash kick.
Yeah, I remember that one.
The flash kick.
The super one, he goes...
That's the one.
And then glider stomp
which is
from
dive
the
kick.
air. Right, so dive kick.
Literal dive kick.
And then shooting dancer thrust, spin kick plus punch.
Yeah, it should just be dash punch.
Okay.
It's just a dash punch.
Okay. That's the one where he does the lean. Yeah. Shooting dancer step.
Is the same dash, but then it does a low kick.
Oh, yeah. I remember what that looks like. Direction change, DP. That's a teleport dash.
No, right? It's Yun's command grab.
Oh.
Which it being a DP is interesting.
Shouldn't that mean that you have to be close by, or does it run at people?
It should be close by, but that's odd. Yeah, but that should be that. So I don't know. It seems like they're a little iffy on some of the grabs.
Remember to wear earplugs when fighting or playing as Chris? Dude, this is my favorite thing was that...
Oh, it's a jumping grab. That's right.
Oh, okay. I just remember, like, I think... Didn't I talk to you about this? Maybe it was last week, but, like, Chaos, the Marvel player, put up the Storm clip and was showing, like, some crazy Storm combos. And I was sitting there watching, and I was like, yeah, these are cool. These are really nice combos. And I retweeted it, and someone responded, like, holy crap, she's loud and annoying. And I was like...
Oh, yeah. I'm just so conditioned.
I didn't hear it. I was so desensitized to, so I went back and watched it again. And then, dude, she's like, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't even hear that anymore. I mean, unless they nerfed Chris's jump CD from previous games, right?
Here's the thing. I still want it to be good.
Yeah, of course.
I still want it to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing, I'm really scared about, like, Quick Max Chris in this game.
Okay. What's scramble dash? This is the command dash thing?
Yeah, I think that's just a command dash. I could be wrong, but I think that's all that
like
is.
This one has the ability to go behind people, right?
Something.
Okay. Well, that's the
and
move.
supers.
I mean, I'm excited to try this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm concerned about like how powerful Chris could be in this game, but I'm kind of okay with that.
And again, I mean, we're at a different age now. If this game follows the path that I'm sure they want it to, it'll be a big esport thing. They'll try to run tournaments and world tours for it. And if that's the case, you can't afford to overpower characters.
Not
really.
Horrifically, no.
Right. Not.
I mean, just look at Launch 14.
Right. Yeah.
Nako Leona blank was a problem.
Yeah. I mean, right now, the way fighting games are.
Why are you like this, Kitty? I mean, you want Chris to ruin lives that badly?
What's cool to me is like Guilty Gear Strive's really balanced right now. And I say this with all the love. This is Arxis. Do we remember what Blaze Blue was like? Jesus Christ. I don't know how you deal with me.
It's not that bad. Come on.
Do you want me to mute the mic so I can hear it? No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
You just get me going like...
Yeah, I know, right? And then I'll turn it back on. It's all... No.
I'll just do the fucking Ace Ventura.
Yeah. You know what? I know that scene. I've still never seen that movie, dude.
It's all you need to know is the scene.
Yeah. No, again, sorry you couldn't be here, Kitty. Sorry your internet died. Sucks. And... But normally, yeah, we would have had Kitty here with us going over all this stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm still going to kidnap her in a few days so she can help us with the beta nonsense.
Oh, is that why you're on? Because it came back. Gotcha.
Sense.
I mean, I mean, I can ask. Are we gonna be able to borrow the PS5 to do some?
Oh no, I'm making her bring it. It's gonna be here because we also need to test the crossplay with it.
Because you know what? I've never seen one. I've just never seen it. I've never looked at it. Yeah. I've never touched a controller. So
No. We're definitely gonna we have to bring it because we have to verify crossplay, and we want to have the side by side of like, does the PS5 look exponentially better?
Right, yeah,
does it run better or worse? Because a lot of the games right now are having the problem where the PS5 is not the best SKU for a game.
And if Kitty's still here on Monday, I'll have to play whatever that Playhouse thing or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Astro's Playhouse or whatever.
Astro's Playroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crossplay is 100% confirmed.
Yeah, if I come over here, there you go.
Cross-generation play enabled.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Cool.
Oh, that is one thing. Is apparently there has been a note pointed out that some sticks are still not going to run the same way. Like running through Brook adapters and stuff is a no-go. Yeah, Hitbox will run fine on PS4, but not PS5, etc., etc. That kind of thing.
Took Nathan to the vet. Both cats to the vet earlier today. Nathan actually stabbed me a good one on my hand. Ow. No, they're not going to do that, Carlito. There's no reason for them to, I think, go that far on the testing, probably. Right now, if they can limit it to PS4 and PS5, it's probably keeps it a little more.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know that Xbox and PC can't or won't.
Oh,
because that's not what we're testing right now.
Yeah, that's right. We don't even know if we even have that crossplay in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the fact that PS4 and 5 are doing crossplay is still really nice, and it helps reinforce things for a lot of people. But we don't know what the status of Xbox, PC, or any of that's going to be. On the other hand, actually, I wouldn't bet on it because I don't think Steam and Xbox communicate very well, and this is a Steam release, not a Games for Windows release.
One of the things I want to say, though, I think this is actually really smart, that they're putting 5 of the new characters that weren't in 14 in here because they look so much better than a lot of the other characters, and I think it'll probably appeal to, like, it'll look better for all the people who are streaming it early and such. So I think that's actually a good idea. Like, you have to put Kyo and Yori in there, right? Yeah.
Although, I mean, and here's the thing, like, I'm actually a little sad that Ash isn't in it, but on the other hand, you got to have some of the other pro tag nonsense, and I'm really looking forward to Ash, so let's let him still be a surprise for a while, because he's probably bullshit. And I'm here for it.
I mean, look, I say this again with all the love, but if this beta was like Whip and King, and like it definitely would.
It would have felt a little more lackluster.
Yeah, it would not have hit as big of a splash. But
yeah, but CYS for the international beta, like that's all. Like, and then Dolores on top.
And then Dolores on top, who is like the most fantastic. And then, like I said, Chizuru looks great, right? Chizuru looks great.
Like I am not playing Yashiro other than I'm going to try everyone once kind of thing.
Yeah.
But fucking A, Chizuru?
Yeah. Chizuru is what I'll definitely be
trying. I'm going to be playing Dolores, Chizuru, and Shermie.
Yeah,
that's my go-to, but I'm going to also play a fair amount of Chris because he's probably going to be fucked up, and I want to know what we got.
We'll be playing all sorts of characters. And in fact, when we play each other, like, first day, obviously, we're going to be experimenting, finding out, doing all sorts of stuff. If we have extended sessions of us playing against each other, we should do the draft thing. Just to force each other into playing other characters just to see what they're like.
Well, I mean, I don't think the draft mode is going to be enabled.
Right,
but we can do it to ourselves.
That's what I mean. Let's just manually do that to ourselves. So
yeah, no, it's totally fine. And we can also do, like, stream incentives to force us to do dumb shit.
To force you to play Kyo.
Yeah.
Because two characters can always never be picked, you'll never pick Kyo, even with the draft system.
I don't know. I feel like we could figure out a way to screw each other over just enough.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, man. No, yeah. Isla was in the TGS build. She is not here available in this one. And you know what? Might just be that they're trying to tweak her to make her fairer. Because she was broken in the TGS build.
Well, I mean, I don't know about broken, but she definitely has some of the most optimal damage to meter stuff.
Yeah, and
she can do all the things.
Yeah, and she was a great zoner and great rushdown, and all, so they were probably like, let's put Dolores in here and let's see how strong she ends up being.
Yeah. We could set up like a little like donation pile for like shit. Yeah.
Play this character, play that character. I'm down with that.
Yeah, we'll probably just be up ludicrously late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which for you is normal.
Yeah, but I can't do that obviously on the day that I got
on Saturday night. Yeah, but Friday night you can. And then then Saturday we would do probably more of the open lobby. Right. Like Friday is us being dumb, or like maybe one or two occasional people, and then Saturday is like open lobbies with everyone or something. Right. Maybe something like that.
Yeah, or maybe we just play against each other a bunch, and then eventually we'll do viewer lobbies. So if you guys have this,
that will exist as long as it works.
Right. Exactly. So for sure, if you guys get the beta, just keep an eye on the SNKronize Twitter. We'll keep everything. But I mean, there's a good chance that if we're awake, we'll be streaming it anyway. So we'll probably be doing a long stream this weekend, playing a lot of King of Fighters. So
yeah. But, and the thing is, though, is that like if throws do have a high risk of desync, that might throw a lot of online gameplay out the window too. Yeah, which we'll find out.
Yeah, but again, it'll be interesting just to even do it anyway and see it happen and such. So, I mean, didn't say like it's every time, right? It's
it's like can cause or something.
Sometimes the game desyncs when rollback happens during a throw.
Yeah, and so that's when rollback happens during a throw. So if you actually are synced up by the time the throw happens, who gives a shit?
Right. 98, I mean, that was a guaranteed crash when you threw, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was funny.
Yeah. And so just don't forget KOF XV OBT or KOF 15 OBT as your hashtag when you want to report stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. So there you go.
But don't do too much inane stuff, because you don't want to make the social media and like production. You don't want to make their lives a living hell.
Right. Exactly. It's not their fault.
Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, the thing is, my concern is that that's also going to be the best hashtag for just doing cool shit in the beta.
Right, yeah.
And, like, you might want to reserve that for communication with dev.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we should try to establish KOF, XV, KOF 1.5 beta. Just writing beta for putting cool shit and leave OBT for the...
Yeah, something like that.
For them. But, I mean, like, honestly, like, if you do something cool... don't use this hashtag, use a different hashtag. If you hate the way that Chris sounds, don't go complaining these guys to change their voices or whatever like that. Like, save it for actual, like, legit bug problems. Like, maybe balance issues if it's really egregious, but
like if Shermie's down-to-back punch capture throw trades with somebody and then she continues her animation, that's when you use that hashtag.
Right, but if you're like, hey, when I played Chris Jump CD is, I used to kill everybody in 98, but now it's not good anymore. Fix that. That's not what you put in there. So
a character going fully off screen in the beta is on the bingo card. I respect that.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. For sure.
Honestly, I don't even mind if they extend the beta. I'm actually kind of down for a second beta.
Oh yeah. Second beta, I would almost kind of prefer too, because they may even change the characters who are available and such, and put in Kenso.
Yeah, no, I'm personally looking forward to also like air to air throw trades and see what happens. I'm also convinced Dolores is gonna have at least 3 bad bugs.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, you're letting me have a zoner with command grabs? Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, if that's the case, Dark Chaos, I mean, so be it. It really just depends on how well it runs. And again, look how successful it was for Guilty Gear. Did the 3 betas hurt the game sales? Not at all. Did the 3 betas...
But they did affect pre-orders.
Yeah, some people, when they slowed down the air dash, it did affect, It
affected pre-orders, and there's all sorts of other stuff.
But it still ended up as a better game, and it was still the record-selling Guilty Gear game in America ever, and, it was...
Well, I mean, that's a fucking challenge, really, let's be honest.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's the right way for KOF to go, honestly. If they did more betas to make it work right. Yeah, some people did cancel because they hated the air dash change. They hated the way that the air dash was slower, but they even fixed that because of the beta, right? So, I mean, look, canceling the pre-order like that I don't know.
It's just one of the things that a lot of people don't remember, that these betas are a literal statement of work in progress.
Right.
There's going to be there's going to be times where you play a demo and then the final game is exactly that.
Right.
But there's also times where, like at Guilty Gear, the game came out and it was in a better state than the third beta.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I mean, some of that's true, some of it's not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess what Sultan means is it's not like entire system change. You've taken away. Yeah. I mean,
you never know. Rolls might be 2 frames better when the game launches.
Right. But I mean, what Sultan means is not even the big change from Exerd. Yeah. Where a lot of people are already mad. KOF 15 is going to play like KOF. Yeah. You can tell already.
And I mean, again, I've been talking about it a lot. Like, it's the cycles of the KOF games. They make a pretty good game, and then the next one's the best version of that. Mm-hmm. This looks like, hey, what if 14 was amazing? And the thing is, 14's already really fucking good.
Right, and I mean, even in that one Tokyo Game Show thing where they got those pros to play it, they all were like, this feels really good. Like, this is fun.
This feels like a KOF to me.
Yeah.
And some KOFs didn't feel like that to them.
Right. And they were all happy that that max canceling wasn't like overpowered.
Yeah, quick max is fucking dumb. Quick max is fucking dumb traditionally. Mm-hmm. Like, even when it's expensive, it's fucking dumb. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then 14's like, hey, you know what? It's not expensive. Oh, no. Oh, no.
So that's all everybody was fishing for all day, so...
Well, we'll find out in 2 days if it's good or bad, won't we?
Yeah. Well, at least we'll have a better idea of it's good or bad.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, is that there's going to be a lot of people out there who they're going to pick Iori first and foremost. And they're going to see how much they win with Iori. And that's going to tell us a lot about how good the game is. And I'm not even like trying to be too snarky about it.
I know. I'm laughing because I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Iori has been one of those characters who always seems to be kind of like the
it's a really strong baseline, but it's also like, if Iori can succeed, we've probably got something okay on our hands. Mm-hmm. If Iori is dog shit, then it might be the game's fault and not even Iori's fault.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That is not true at all. Iori is not top in every game.
Has he been garbage in some games?
He's been not amazing.
Okay.
He's fine in some games. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Iori is frequently very good. Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised already FGC Splash if Shadow Strike combos do significantly less damage in this beta compared to the TGS.
No, fuck that. I want them to be fucking stupid. So that then they get them. I want to play with the broken Shatter Strike. I want it dumb until the next game. No, but seriously, I'm gonna lab a lot of Shatter Strike because it's like unless they've dramatically changed it, that mechanic is gonna be fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to prove it. Mm-hmm. That's literally my goal, is to prove Shatter Strike's a problem. That's one of my big goals in the beta.
While we're streaming, we should definitely like order takeout or something and eat, and while one guy labs, one guy's eating, and then we can just like switch
we could
back.
take shifts?
Yeah, while we're eating.
I already know exactly one meal I'm having this weekend, and I know Kitty's on board. We're having a okonomiyaki.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I've been craving it for like 2 weeks. And I haven't gotten around to it. Go to that Shinchikurin.
Okay, fair enough.
That's delicious.
Oh, man. Anyways, is there anything else that you wanted to cover?
I don't think so. I think that's as much as we need right now. Unless you want to check the SNK Twitter real quick and see if there's any other little notes that we want to take a look at. But
any updates over here. Let's take a look here.
Who's pinging me?
Not in Torrance. We have one here in Sawtell area in West LA. So
it's a franchise.
Yeah, it's a franchise. Yeah. So just stuff about this. There's the
Ikari.
Stuff about Sam Show.
I'm kind of sad that I swear to God, like Hydern was speaking more than the rest of the cast combined in the Ikari Warrior story. On the other hand, I'm totally fine because I was like, oh, I just got to be Hydern. That's cool.
Yeah.
More eye patches.
So there you go. Okay, so there's not much else here. So,
yeah.
But again, if you guys want to watch us and play with us this weekend, we're definitely going to be going ham on this beta as much as possible.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it also depends on how the lobby structure is. If you need to like get invites and be friends and stuff, where I could be like, here's my lobby code or something.
Right. We'll see how that all works. So. Okay, KOF All Stars. Yeah, I heard they're adding Guilty Gear to that. So.
Yeah, but it's like, is Soul the only dude in the whole game?
What,
in the whole collab, I think Soul might be the only dude.
Oh, really? Oh,
I didn't make the cut.
Oh,
yeah.
I see what you're saying, God.
I didn't make the cut.
I mean, I'll see. Like I said, I mean, again, this is going to be the first KOF that I think I'm really going to sit down and try to learn. So it's going to be really kind of interesting.
We're going to have a good time.
Yeah. So
we're all going to have a good time.
Yeah. Kyle Kisuke. Yeah. Okay.
DOA doesn't have dudes.
Yeah,
no matter what anybody tries to tell me.
It's accurate. It's accurate.
The only dude in all of DOA is Tina's dad.
He's the wrestler dude, right?
Yeah, like the fat Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has Ninja Gaiden. Not Ryu Hayabusa, but it has Ninja Gaiden.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and also has Zach, the man in the full body condom.
Zach, he was the Dennis Rodman guy.
That's
right?
the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, so I think we're about good.
Yeah, I think we're good. Again, yeah.
I'm really glad that we timed everything the way we have, though, because we knew that this would not be a character week. Yeah. So we got that, which also means that there's a good chance of a character next week.
Hopefully. But, I mean, maybe or maybe not, because it is also Thanksgiving next week, too.
In America.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, God. Gonna be Western centric here. Racist James Chen. Clip racist James Chen and show everybody the freaking.
Stab my face on this fucking thing. I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah, freaking racist Western classist James Chen here. Oh, God.
Also, let it be known, in this house, we don't call it Thanksgiving. We simply call it Food Fest.
Yes, okay, fair enough. Or no, that's right. It was Columbus Day that got changed to National Indigenous Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or the day I still go to work because we refuse to actually honor it until it changes officially.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Give me an Ikari Warriors theme that I guess I can end on. Right?
Oh, there we go. Rude important pudding, so bade. What the
That sounds about
Dude,
right.
I love Twitch's random clip name generator.
Yeah. I mean, we still had what was the awesome spaghetti or what was it?
Oh God, it was so good. Yeah.
I still have it.
Spaghetti, like no spice or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. God, I think I still have it somewhere. No, it's not that one.
Yeah, and that's true. But I got you out of your chair twice today.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jesus.
What Ikari Warriors theme should I go with?
Oh, let's see. Well, we did World War III last week.
Yes.
And as much as I fucking love World War III, yeah, you know what? Let's do one of the OG, like, 94, 95 arranged ones. You know what? We did 95 for the intro today, right?
Yeah,
So let's do Ikari 95 arranged.
Hey, thank you, Minot Gate, for the
Happy
sub.
Food Day next week, all.
Oh, yes. Thank
Happy
you.
Food Day to
Appreciate it.
you, too.
Yeah, happy Food Consumption Day.
Food Fest 2021.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Add here real quick. Quiet song?
Give it time. It's an arranged version.
It's gonna be another gift.
Probably. My fucking luck.
Anyways, yeah, so again, this weekend, 7 p.m. Western Time, you'll probably be watching us trying to log into a server that we can't connect to for a while.
Yeah, which means you're basically going to get an unofficial synchronized, like, offshoot episode.
Right. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Friday then, and for some KOF 15 beta. Peace out, and take care. Stay safe out there, vaccinate, keep social distancing.
And don't forget, this Friday, you want to play some KOF?
You want to play some KOF?